Hey guys, today we are celebrating the letter B for bubbles. As you can see behind me, there are all different types of bubbles. There are soap bubbles that we create with soap and water and sometimes sugar or glycerin. There are bubbles in your soda in carbonation. When you open a drink, you can hear it. That's the air bubbles and the pressure being released. There are bubbles underwater when you go swimming. There are bubbles in tons of different places. So today we are focusing all about bubbles. And one of my favorite treats is bubble gum. Let's go find out how bubble gum is made.
Ancient Greeks who chewed resin from trees. Modern chewing gum was patented in the US in 1869 by, believe it or not, a dentist. In 1928, another American invented bubble gum. Bubble gum comes in gumballs of all colors and sizes. But for blowing bubbles, nothing beats the chewy, gooey pink stuff in the twist wrap. It all starts with a gum base, the stuff that makes gum chewy. Traditionally, the base came from tree resin. Today, it's synthetic, made of plastics and rubbers. They pour the gum base into a mixer, then add color and flavoring. As it begins mixing, they pour in glucose syrup, a sweetener. Because it's liquid, it helps keep the gum base soft. Next, they add dextrose, a powdered sweetener. They blend the ingredients for about 20 minutes. The stirring action builds up heat, which melts everything together. The mixture's ready when it reaches the consistency of bread dough. They transfer it by cart to a machine called the pre-extruder. The machine squeezes the mixture through a narrow opening, like squeezing toothpaste from the tube. This transforms the big, bulky wad into thin, manageable strips that can then go through the extruders. The extruders squeeze each strip down to the actual width of a piece of bubble gum. It comes out as one long, continuous stream to be cut into bite-sized pieces later on. This extrusion process heats up the gum. If they were to cut and wrap it now, it would stick to the wrapper. So the next stop is a cooling chamber. The gum goes in for 15 minutes at between 3 to 7 degrees Celsius. When the bubble gum comes out, it's cooled down enough for what they call the cut and wrap. One machine does both jobs in a fraction of a second. Watch the action in slow motion. As the continuous stream of gum enters on one end, the machine cuts it into bite-sized pieces, pushes each piece into a wax paper wrapper, then twists both ends of the wrapper closed. Here's the slow motion replay from a different angle. The machine processes 900 pieces of bubble gum per minute. Last stop, packaging. The bubble gum moves on to a scale that automatically weighs out the right amount per tub. seal the tub with plastic to make it airtight. This keeps the bubble gum fresh. Ever wonder why bubble gum is pink? It's because that's the only color Walter Deemer had on hand when he invented this treat back in 1928.
Wasn't that amazing? Learning all about bubble gum, how it's made and why it's pink. Now we're going to go to learning about why bubbles don't stick to your hands. Have you ever noticed that? When you're blowing bubbles and you try and catch them, they pop. Why does that happen? Let's find out.
Can you see that the bubbles pop as soon as I try to touch them? That's because when we touch a bubble with our dry hands, we break the bubble's surface tension. Our hands have a little bit of oil in them, and that keeps them nice and soft. But soap loves oil. That's why we use it to clean dirty, oily dishes. So when a soap bubble lands on our oily hands, those soap molecules try to take the oil away, but this bursts the bubble. So what can I use to try and help me catch a bubble without it bursting? I'm going to use a glove. Now let's see what happens. Whoa! The glove is stopping the soapy bubble mixing with the oil on my hands, which means I can catch the bubble and even bounce it. Wow.
Did you guys see how she caught the bubbles with her gloves? Another thing you can try and do is dip your hand in the soapy bubble water. That way, the soap will cling onto the soap on your hand and not break the surface tension of the bubble, so you can hold it right there in your palm. Let's find out how to make bubbles. Now that we know about bubble gum, we know about the surface tension of bubbles, let's go ahead and find a recipe to make our own bubbles. Here we go.
Today we're going to make bubbles and learn how soap works. All you need for this experiment is some water and some dish soap. Pour some soap into the water. Now mix it around. You can use anything with a loop to blow bubbles. Now dip it in and blow bubbles. Look, let's show them this.
Did you know that you guys can make artwork with bubbles? All you need is water, soap, paint, and a straw to blow your bubbles. Then you put it on paper and your artwork comes to life. Watch how it happens. No matter how you choose to celebrate Bubble Day, I hope you guys have fun learning about bubble gum, bubble artwork, how to make bubbles, and that you celebrate our day today with bubbles however you like.
I did it! Yes! Success! I am Bubble Queen. Okay. All right.